Good evening, viewers. Welcome to my channel, SHS Maths Hub, the solution to your math problems. As you can see, we're going to solve some past questions. This ended was September 2024 core maths. So compulsory question 1. Monica rode a bicycle for 45 minutes and walked for an hour to cover a total distance of 10 kilometers. So let's quickly represent something. So she rode a bicycle for 45 minutes. So the riding time, her riding time is giving us 45 minutes. And then the walking time is giving us an hour. So her walking time was 1 hour. Now you can see that the riding time and the walking time have different units. So let's make sure that they have the same unit. So I prefer changing the minutes to hour. So let's change 45 minutes to 1 hour. Now we know that every 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. Therefore 45 minutes. So at this point, you can apply proportion. If less, more divide. So 45 minutes divided by 60 minutes times 1 hour. This is giving us 0.75 hours. So instead of 45 minutes, let's substitute 0.75 hours. So that is the riding time and walking time. And what was the total distance covered? So the total distance was giving us 10.4 kilometers. That is the total distance covered by Monica. Now, if the riding speed is 3 times the walking speed, we are told that the riding speed is 3 times the walking speed. So now, since we don't know the exact value for the riding and the walking speed, let's represent that with a variable. So let's represent the walking speed as y. So if the walking speed is y, then how do you write an expression for the riding speed, knowing that the riding speed is 3 times the walking speed? So the riding speed 3 times the walking speed, so that is 3 times y, which is 3y. So we have to find correct two significant figures: A, the walking speed, and then B, distance traveled by riding. So now, from the information here, you could see that in order for Monica to cover a total distance of 10.4 kilometers, she does 2 things. The first one, she rode a bicycle to cover some part of the distance, and then she also walked some distance by foot. So we can conclude that her riding distance plus the walking distance must be equal to the total distance. In all, she was supposed to cover 10.4 kilometers. Now in doing so, she covered some distance by riding a bicycle, and then she walked the remaining distance by foot. So we can conclude that the riding distance plus the walking distance must be equal to the total distance, which is 10.4 kilometers. Now, we know that speed is equal to distance over time. So at this point, what we are going to do is I'm going to calculate Monica's riding distance and then Monica's walking distance. So now let's try to make distance the subject. Now speed can be written as speed over 1. So at this point we can cross multiply. So time times speed, that will give us speed times time, and then 1 times distance is equal to distance. So in conclusion, to calculate distance, we need to multiply speed and then time. Take note of this formula. Distance is equal to speed times time. So there's a formula we are going to use to calculate the distance. So now let's calculate Monica's riding distance. So Monica's riding distance. So D subscript R. I'm using this to represent her riding distance. So her riding distance will be equal to her riding speed times her riding time. So riding distance is equal to her riding speed. So what is her riding speed? Her riding speed is 3y. And what is her riding time? Her riding time is 0.75. So 3y times 0.75. So we have 2.25y. That is a riding distance. Now let's also calculate her walking distance. Her walking distance. So walking distance, I'm representing that as D subscript W. So we know that the walking distance will be the walking speed times walking time. We know the walking speed as y and the walking time as 1r, so which is 1. So y times 1 is still y. So as you said, her riding distance plus her walking distance must be equal to the total distance, which is 10.4. So let's do the substitution. We know the riding distance as 2.25y, and then the walking distance as y. This should be equal to 10.4. We are looking for y. So let's simplify. 2.25y plus y. 3.25y is equal to 10.4. So you can divide both sides by 3.25. 3.25. So 10.4 divided by 3.25. We have 3.2. And we are looking for walking speed. We are looking for walking speed. We said walking speed is represented as what? Y. So A, walking speed will be 3.2 kilometers per hour. So that is Monica's walking speed. That is her walking speed. And then B, we have to calculate the distance traveled by riding. Distance traveled by riding. Distance traveled by riding is the same as riding distance. The same as riding distance. And from the information, how do you represent the riding distance? We said her riding distance here was 2.25y. Riding distance B, 2.25y. But what is the value of y? We have y to be 3.2. So let's do the substitution here. So we know the riding distance as 2.25y, And we know the value of y as 3.2. So let's simplify. 2.25 times 3.2, 7.2. But we are looking at distance. So distance here should be in kilometers. So B, the answer should be 7.2 kilometers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.